Greetings, everyone. My name is Jedi Joe, and I am your host for tonight's roundtable. Hope that everybody is doing well on this Wednesday evening. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties last week, so we were able to iron them out, and we are back. So it's kind of bittersweet, guys, and the reason why I say that is because we are getting ready to enter our shutdown for the holiday season. And I'd like to take this moment to each and every one of you tell you how much I thank you for being part of the roundtable. From Calibus Rand to the Cosmic Portal for all the productions to Larry, my executive vice president, and to you guys, family, friends. I really do appreciate you guys. And for y'all that are watching, whether you've been on the roundtable or not, I do thank you for that as well. Tonight's subject is talking about DC. And I put on the back of that title, The Uprising. As a Marvel fan, I feel like there is an uprising, and maybe we'll discover that more tonight as we talk. Let's see here. Let's begin like this. So, how does the scale measure for you guys when it comes down to DC versus Marvel? And I'm talking about from when maybe Spider-Man first came out to as of right now that Wakanda Forever has lifted up. So let's see, guys, where does the scale measure with you? We'll start with none other than the First Lady of Fandom, Miss Liz. What are you thinking? Your mic, darling.
I did a Calibus. I forgot to turn the mic off. um, I don't know. I like Marvel and I like DC. There's certain Marvel characters I really love, and there are certain DC characters I really love. So, uh, I don't know. I can't really rate the two of them because I like the both of them. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's the reason why we're discussing it. Uh, Chris, what you got for us, buddy?
I couldn't hear you.
I said, how does the scale measure for you when it comes to DC versus Marvel?
Well, I prefer the MCU stuff over the DCEU, but I love the '80s DC stuff for the movies and TV DC stuff from the '80s. So it depends on exactly which era of Marvel or DC you're talking about, which one I prefer.
Okay. Okay. Brad, how do you feel about DC versus Marvel? To who's tipping the scale right now?
Well, Marvel used to
Your
have
mic.
the upper hand for me, but lately DC has been coming out with better movies, so they're starting to tip the scale in their direction.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I think I'm getting ready to start hitting into the heavy hitters when it comes to DC and Marvel critics. I will start with Marky Mark.
Well, I'm a huge DC fan, as you can tell. So I love everything that they put out. Some of it, I guess, has been too dark for people, but I think I'm getting a little tired of Marvel with the comic part. When it first came out, Marvel was fine. It was perfect. It was great. I enjoyed, especially the original Avengers movie. Iron Man was a great movie. I enjoyed all the Spider-Man stuff. The second Avengers movie I didn't like because they just took their liberties to make a movie. So I wasn't a big fan of that. And as time has gone on, I think I'm tired of seeing all the comic aspects of those movies. And I do like the seriousness that they are showing in DC. visually, I think DC has a better overall experience when you're looking at the movies, but Marvel is more family friendly. So I guess that's the big difference between the two. But I'm still going to be a DC guy. I've watched the new the Batman movie like 4 or 5 times because of how gritty it is. I absolutely love that movie. And then there's always the Justice League, the Snyder Cut is a fantastic movie which I've watched 2 or 3 times as well. So that's my take on the universe.
Okay. Okay. Big L, what you got for us, bud?
You know, I'm a DC fan. As far as DC goes, it's going to tip the scale for me all the way. I got to disagree with some people. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter what genre it is, whether you're a DC fan or you're a Marvel fan. It's kind of like Star Wars, Star Trek. It's really hard to pick one or the other. You can be both, but you know, you got to have a heavy hitter, and right now DC is just really that heavy hitter.
Okay. Last but not least, the man behind the curtain, Mr. Calibus Rand.
I like to say that the whole superhero universe was kicked off by Blade. Marvel was saved by Blade. We got our first real R-rated superhero movie, which blew everything away. Now, with that being said, DC came out hitting with Michael Keaton's Batman, 1989. Unstoppable force. Marvel is just now getting on the board. And everybody's praising it like it was like this great thing. They had a great few movies. Captain America, The First Avenger, is my favorite Marvel movie. I was a big Iron Man fan coming into the franchise, but Civil War turned me into a Captain America fan. Like I said, I love The First Avenger, but DC has always been my love. So I'm a little biased when it comes to these movies. People always want to, you know, say how Marvel was doing. The first 5 DC movies outmatches Marvel's first 5 movies in box office. Marvel is more popular because, like Marky Mark said, it's family friendly. And you can have that. But Marvel's done got to the point where it's a joke now. Everything is joking comedy. The heroes don't do like they're supposed to anymore, you know? We change them out. We get this new hero. We get this female hero. We make the heroes gay. We make, you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. You change these heroes to you don't even recognize them anymore.
It's not going to make sense. It's Disney.
So we get all this stuff that's changed. We all saw Black Adam together. And for me, I was sitting here for the first time. We get a real villain on screen. Well, a real anti-hero. And he tells you, I'm here to, I do kill. I'm not here to sit here and take somebody to jail, which is unprecedented for us. I mean, you get Deadpool, but you're joking your way through it. Now, don't get me wrong. Deadpool is fine because you're expecting that. Okay? DC with Black Adam, I wasn't expecting that. As far as Wakanda Forever goes, I'm kind of torn for it. I'm not going to rush out to see it. I want to see it with you guys, of course. But I'm not rushing out to see it because I saw the previews and they didn't, a movie has to grab you to make you want to go out and see it. It has to grab you. It has to have that hook. And this one, from what I've seen, seems like it's, again, we're pushing the females to the forefront and we're leaving the males behind. And I don't like that. You know what I mean? There's room for more. I mean, you want to tell the story and you want to tell the story right. The Black Panther dies, and I believe in the comic book his sister does take over. That's fine. But you gave me one Black Panther movie, and I know the star died, but you could have recast the star. You could have recast him. I know that's going to upset a lot of people. Like, no, you could. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You have a multiverse now, according to Marvel. You can recast that character. You can pull another guy who's Black Panther from another universe into ours. You can do all that. But Hollywood's got so lazy with their writing that it's pathetic. Half of us could sit here and thump out a story that's more original than anything that Hollywood is doing. So again, I saw Black Adam, refreshing. It was nice. It was great. I saw it 3 times in the theater. It was a great DC movie. It gave me hope for DC again. Now DC is back. We have Ben Affleck coming back. We have all the originals coming back, and they're mapping out this role plan for DC. Marvel really needs to stop doing all this ha-ha, he, and being family friendly and tell good stories. The last couple Thor movies, the Doctor Strange movie was a Scarlet Witch movie. This bait and switch needs to stop. It just needs to stop.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So it's kind of funny, guys. I remember once upon a time that Marvel was really in the dumps, and a friend of mine wanted me to invest in the Marvel stocks, and he made money off of it. And then all of a sudden, that's when that first Marvel's movie came out. And I admit, I was hooked. Captain America was one of my favorites. Iron Man was one of my favorites. Thor. And again, like you said, it was good old family fun. And it was inspiring. I remember when Justice League came out. When Batman versus Superman came out, and some of my hardcore Batman fans would turn around and say that there was just certain things about it that he didn't like. And it seemed like for me, DC was starting to get that bad rep for some reason. And then Justice League came out, and that was pretty good, but it wasn't really good. And again, this is my era of the timeline, not exactly pointing fingers at anybody else. But I got to be honest. I have been introduced by my closest friends, especially some of you guys right here on the table. I'm a big Flash fan, as you can see. I'm wearing the Flash shirt. I've also gotten into, a lot of people don't like the movie, but I enjoyed the Green Lantern. Mark and all you guys have got me into the animation movies, and I've gotten into that, and it has that adult appeal. It ain't like watching the Super Friends in the 80s. It's actually more for adults. When I went to go see Black Adam, like Calibus said, it was very different. It was impulsive. It was almost like watching a Marvel film, but yet it was DC, and they put a little extra in it. And bam, you've got this great creation. There is nothing about Wakanda Forever that I'm going to watch. I actually watched Black Panther on DVD before I bought it because I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. It was action-packed, but I'm not interested in it. The bad thing about me saying this is that some of you know that me and Big L do a panel called DC versus Marvel, and we're kind of like lawyers displaying our truth and facts about the characters and who's doing better and everything. And I almost kind of feel that because of this roundtable that I'm doing, that I feel like that I'm gonna have to really be convincing on the end that I'm starting to like DC more than I like Marvel. So that's just an interesting fact. But again, guys, DC, I feel, is uprising simply because I think Marvel is just getting too relaxed. They've had too many successes, and now they think they can just throw any movie out and everybody's going to like it. So, like me and Calibus was saying one night, they're more worried about the hype than they are a very good story. There are good writing. So this moves us into our next topic. It is basically like this. How do you guys feel about some of your favorite childhood DC characters? And I'm going to throw Marvel in just because of argument's sake. How they've changed, how they've updated. For example, some of us are hardcore, and I'm speaking about my wife, hardcore Christopher Reeve fan as Superman. Then you have the new Superman. Then, of course, you had Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. Now you have Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and so forth. How do y'all feel about your character that you grew up with and how all of a sudden now they've changed? Has it improved for you? Or is it just a little disappointing? Or, wow, they did a great job? I'm going to start from the top. Calibus, tell me what you think.
I know I'm going to hurt some feelings with this. Christopher Reeve is old.
Hey, this is the roundtable, sir. No. I'm agreeing with you. This is the roundtable. I didn't say gauntlets can't be thrown. That's what we're discussing about it. Thank you.
It's, that 70s era Superman is gone. The world does not, there's a line in Batman versus Superman where Perry White says, the world has changed. It's not 1930 out there and not in here. And the times have changed. And people couldn't get with this darker Superman because, we're used to Superman saving kittens out of a tree and whatnot. This does not work in today's world. Okay? It does not work in today's world. An updated Superman is what we needed. It's what we got. And then, of course, in Black Adam, we got to see him return. So I'm all for updating Superman because, again, that Superman, and it was kind of campy. We had, Gene Hackman taking off the wig to show us he's a bald Lex Luthor and, Australia. It does not work today. It does not work. And, you can keep that little bit of fandom and have that special place in your heart. Don't get me wrong. He made me believe a man could fly. But now it's 2022. That doesn't work here anymore. It just does not fit. It doesn't work. The new Wonder Woman, loved it. I will still always love Linda Carter because as a young man, sitting there watching her run across that screen, I was impressed.
Yes, sir.
Seeing the new Wonder Woman deflect and be powerful, love it. Didn't like the second movie. Love the first one. Didn't like that second one. My Batman has changed. I mean, look how many Batmans we've gone through.
Right.
I mean, from 1960s camp, which, Adam West was the standard. And then we get Michael Keaton. Then we get Christian Bale. And now we have Ben Affleck. And let's not forget Kevin Conroy. Because every time I see Batman, I hear Kevin Conroy. It's every time. Comic books, I see an image on the screen, I'm expecting to hear Kevin Conroy. Rest in peace. That was Batman to me, and it's hard. It's really hard. But my favorite, of course, I started out with Adam West, Michael Keaton, and Ben Affleck. Christian Bale to me was not Batman because the way he did the voice, it took me out of character. Where's the drug? Oh, come on, man. What was that? And then, of course, he didn't want a Robin in his Batman. So that got to go with me. I can't deal with that. But those are my three. I think the heroes have gradually went with the times. But you know, these people that want to stick with your original guys from 1970, 1960, more power to you. Keep that good fandom there, but time marches on, and you got to go with the times. You just got to go with the times.
I do agree with that. I mean, I know some people that are kind of hardcore-ish and everything, and but I agree with you. I mean, you know, obviously you can't have Christopher Reeve playing in the new Superman movie when he's dead. You know, it's obvious you can't do it. But I definitely understand that. But I think what's really good, and we've seen it in the CW Flash, we've seen it in even in one of the Superman movies where you see him fall and his face is actually changing or something, and it looks almost like a Christopher Reeve type of throwback. I can't remember which Superman movie it was, or if it was Justice League. I just remember people telling me about it, and I watched for it, and I found it. So, but that's good. That's a good thing. One last question for you, Calibus. So, Lou Ferrigno over the new Hulk. This there you have that. You had a real live person over a generated
Hulk.
Yeah. Which one? Which one did?
You know, I love the original. I love the original Hulk. I love Lou Ferrigno. You know, when my dad read it to me out of the TV guide, he said that the Hulk was a superhero because I had never heard of the Hulk as a little boy. And we watched it. We fell in love with it. Everybody knows the whole thing of it. They made fun of it in She-Hulk. The whole Bill Bixby, you know, walking through. And that's the classic Hulk. They kind of made the Hulk a joke a little bit. You know what I mean? You know, they at the last minute, they bring him in with his son from another planet. And, I mean, they're gearing up to World War Hulk. They're gearing up for that. That's Marvel's next big phase is Hulk probably be the enemy. But, gosh, man, I hate to say it. Okay. I love my Lou Ferrigno, but I love that cinematic Hulk that can do everything that the Hulk can do. You know, like the first movie, smashing the tank and he's rolling his big shoulder over and he's got the tank turned in his hand and he's slapping it. I love that. You know, so I'm going to have to go with CGI Hulk just because you can see him do more than the physical restraints of the time. At the time, it was great because that's what you got. You got this big bodybuilder playing this, you know, this character and throwing people. But as time changes, you need to see him throw something very far, or lift a tank, or take that explosion and keep going, you know?
Destroy buildings.
Destroy buildings.
Okay. You are the man. Did everybody freeze? Oh,
we're good.
Oh, everybody on my screen is frozen. Including the timer. All right. Big L, what you got for me, buddy?
I mean, this one's interesting because, you know, I'm always going to be a fan of nostalgia. But like Calibus said, it is 2022. So, Superman, I love Henry Cavill's Superman. I think he has a great read on, you know, what Superman can be. I'm thankful that Brandon Roth only had one Superman movie. He was one and done because it was just horrible watching him as Superman. But, you know, there's always going to be that nostalgia love for Christopher Reeve or George Reeves, for that matter, if you want to go way back to where, you know, Superman was. And then, of course, you know, the same thing with Batman and some of the others. You're going to have the love for your nostalgic characters, the one you grew up with, whether it be Adam West or Ben Affleck, whoever you grew up with. But all in all, I got to say the new genre of superheroes that we're seeing, like Robert Pattinson playing a gritty, dirty kind of, up and coming Batman, and this year or two of him just becoming Batman, that was really good to see. It was very gritty, very dark. So seeing that side, really pulled into it. And if you notice, the movie The Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, is one of the first R-rated, comic book movies to gross over $1 billion. So that tells you something that society itself wants that grit, that dirt, that kind of that darker image. That's what we've evolved into. And unfortunately, Marvel cannot keep up with that. They still want to go with the campy, let's give everybody the mouse ears and make them feel good, the MICKEY MOUSE, make them feel good, make them feel part of the club. Nobody wants to feel part of the club anymore. Annette and them are done. So let's just move on. And I love the way that Mark Ruffalo, I will say, plays Hulk as far as the CGI side, but I still got to stick with Lou Ferrigno on that one. I just love that actually seeing him rip off the clothes and kind of change. That was nice. And as a side note for that, anybody that is a fan of Lou Ferrigno and you watched the show SWAT on CBS, his son actually plays a character on there called Rocker, one of the SWAT team members. So piece of history there.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool deal. Mark, what you got for us?
I actually have to agree with both Calibus and Big L on that. The movies originally were great for their times, and we definitely need to move away from Christopher Reeve as Superman. It was good. I mean, like everybody said, he did make me believe somebody could fly, a man could fly. But going forward, I actually love what Henry Cavill has done in the role. And when it comes to updating characters, they have. I enjoyed what they've done with pretty much all of the characters that they've done in DC, especially when you think of Aquaman. Originally, he just talked to fish and rode around on a giant seahorse. So to see what he is now compared to what he was back in the 70s and 80s is amazing. I love that character. Especially with Jason, what he's done with it. It's been fabulous to see, and I can't wait to see what he comes up with in the next movie. When you talk about Lou Ferrigno as the Incredible Hulk, that was my childhood. So I absolutely loved watching him transform, become the Incredible Hulk. Even though they did the same thing that they did back in the day to make him run fast, they slowed the camera down. But I still think it was great. But the new stuff, it is great to see when you say, yeah, he's throwing a tank, he's busting through walls. That's awesome. So probably have to say I like the CGI stuff a little bit more, even though Lou Ferrigno is always going to be the Incredible Hulk to me.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Miss Liz.
Well, yes, we all have our soft spots for the old guys because that's what we grew up with. I totally agree with just about everybody. I love Henry as Superman. He does a fabulous job as Superman. And as we grew up with Batman being the Batman we grew up with, I have liked several of the Batmans over the time, but I am not going to agree with Calibus on this. But I happen to like, the Batman he does not like.
Christian
Bale. You love Bale.
I like Bale. He. But you got to remember, I'm a girl. I'm gonna pick the.
Mm-hmm.
he does it for me. I'm sorry.
Miss Liz, hang on. This is not the Matriarchs of Fandom show. This is the round table. There is no eye candy here.
Speak
I'm
for
sorry, but
yourself.
he does it for me. I really like him. I love his acting. I've always liked his acting. I've liked him ever since I saw him in his first movie when he was a kid. And I do like some of the other Batmans. I mean, they've done good ones. And then there's been some ones we wish they never did, and that was George Clooney, for instance. He did not do a good Batman. Even though I do like George Clooney. I love how the like you said, as the superheroes mature and get better, and we don't have the 1960s 70s version of, and we have graduated to more serious stuff. I totally agree on that. And as far as Lou Ferrigno knows, that's the one I grew up with. And being the fact that I've met the man on a few occasions, yes, I like him. But I do like the CGI, and I like how Mark Ruffalo has done a really good job playing the Hulk. I think he has done a really good job on that. And I just, I like how the, things have progressed. And we're not doing the campy stuff on some of the characters. I like the, a little bit more substance. I grew up with Wonder Woman, Linda Carter. She was fabulous. But I really like the lady that plays her now. I mean, and I totally agree with Calibus. The first movie was fabulous. The second movie, but that's pretty much, I pretty much agree with you guys as far as, but if I'm going to go with any of the Supermans that are playing Superman now, I like Henry the best.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Brad?
Well, let's see. I don't have any issues with the people playing the characters now. We've got to see some good evolution in the characters as they went on. I never thought Cedric Diggory would make a good Batman, but apparently he did. Coming out of Harry Potter and going over to playing Batman was a nice stretch for him. So, as far as the original Superman, I have no problems with anybody who's playing Superman at this point, anybody who's played him in the past. I'm just glad that nobody ever got to saw Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Okay. All right. Chris?
I agree with you, Brad. 100%.
Me too.
Chris, what you got for us, buddy? Mike? Mike is on. Mike is not on.
Oh, yeah, I'm more of an unconventionalist when it comes to which characters I like better. It's like it can't really happen, but I'd love to see the Lou Ferrigno's Hulk with just a small amount of CGI to it, but put it together with the some of the current MCU characters, but then also bring in the Nick Fury done by David Hasselhoff. I would bring the Superman Returns. I'd bring that Superman into the thing with the Linda Carter's kind of Wonder Woman, and so it's like there's some of the old characters I like the portrayals just so much better than some of the current ones. and then some of them just knock it out of the park, because I would bring Joaquin Phoenix's Joker into the same thing that I'd bring the Brandon Routh's Superman into, and the Batman from good old the 80s Batman from the movies, first two. So unconventional thoughts about which ones I prefer. So
Okay. Well, my thought is definitely a little bit of everybody's. Don't get me wrong. I'm like Larry. I like nostalgia. I like seeing what is what what was in our past, and then all of a sudden seeing improvement. But what really catches my eye is the fact that they do some sort of cameo. So you get a little bit of the old with the new, and you get that transition, if you might say. I guess the best way to describe it for me is take the Adam West Batman and then start thinking about the Michael Keaton Batman. And for me, you have that little bit of an Amish paying tribute to Adam West, but yet now you got a different Batman. I got to admit, when I heard Michael Keaton was going to be Batman, I thought, did they make a mistake? But, and then when you saw him on screen and everything, he did a great job. Some of the CGI stuff is real good. So I agree with it. I enjoyed a little bit of the old and the new together. And what really gets me, now I have a wife that she's sometimes can be very, very hardcore about her characters or certain movies that she don't want to watch because they've been remade. But if they show Amish or cameos of the older people and then moves it into a newer story, I think you get more out of it. You may even like it. And I know this is out of our wheelhouse. For example, we're a big Chevy Chase fan. We like watching all the vacation movies. As you know, we're getting into the Christmas holidays, so you got National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation getting ready to be on all the time. Well, they remade Vacation with all new actors and everything, and I can't watch it because she don't want to watch it. But I'd like to see if they've done a decent job with it. If they kind of tried to stay with a good story, okay. So we'll see what happens.
I can't watch it. It really sucks.
Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
One thing I did want to mention, though, in the first Hulk movie, Lou Ferrigno is in it. He's the pizza guy.
Yeah. So, again, I like that paying homage to everybody. So the next question is pretty much going to be a quick one. And then I'm going to move into the one that I really have found to be hard for me to understand. And with you of great fans, I'm hoping that you will help me understand it. Okay. So real quick, please name off your favorite DC characters. We're going to start at the very, very bottom. And Mr. Christopher Daly, please give me your best DC characters.
all right, probably my favorite DC characters: Superman, Batman, and Joker.
Okay. All right. Marky Mark, what you got for us?
Well, Superman. My favorite though is Question, and then let me think. Batman, love Batman, and the Flash, and Wonder Woman. So quite a few, a little bit of everybody, but I absolutely love Question.
Okay. Miss Liz?
Well, I'm going to have to go with Superman and Batman as my favorite. And I do like Flash. And I've always been a Wonder Woman fan, so That would have to be my top.
Okay. All right. Big L.
We'll start off, of course, Batman. I had to put Hawkman in there, Hawk Girl. Got to put in Dr. Fate, of course, and Arrow, Green Arrow. Now, but my favorite DC faction of all time will always be the Royal Flush Gang.
Okay. Brad.
Well, I'm about to agree with most everybody else. Superman and Batman are at the top. Then you got Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash. Those are some of my favorites.
Okay. Great. Calibus.
Well, I'm, look behind me. There you go. Batman. Batman. I've had this long rivalry with Bishop because Bishop, like Marky Mark, is a Superman fan. So, The World's Finest, one of my favorite animated movies. So Batman and Superman, of course. Joker, Black Adam, obviously because of the new stuff that I have. But Azrael, the Michael Lane version of Azrael from the Arkham games, I love that version of Azrael. He's up there too. And those are my favorites. And it's mostly from the Batman side of things, but Superman goes in there because him and Batman have that thing that we're good friends, but don't cross that line.
So, as y'all know, I've been a Flash fan for a good while. The Green Lantern, I like them too, especially. Newest one would be Black Adam, thanks to Calibus Rand. and then of course, in the very, 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 very beginning, it was Superman. I remember, and I'm embarrassed myself right now, but if you guys remember Underoos, where you could be your superhero, I actually dressed up as Superman, flying around in my living room with my Underoos on. So you're welcome. Thank you very much. So before we close, I got one last thing. Some of you might be able to answer this. Some of you may not. Some of you just may have an opinion on it. But we have our superheroes. We have some superheroes that are strong and got heat vision. We have some that are super strength and their skin can absorb stuff. We got Wonder Woman. She's almost a god. And then you got rings that use the power of your will. You have all these things, but now you have a new enemy. An enemy that has magic. So I'm gonna throw a gauntlet down. How does our superheroes compete against something that is magical? For example, I was trying to study the fight relationship between Superman and Black Adam, and when I asked a few questions and everything, it was really, really interesting to me how magic really, really damaged Superman at different times, but yet they seem to be very, very equal. You have Darkseid, so all these great heroes that we've learned to, how do you compete against that? I mean, that would be like Obi-Wan Kenobi coming down trying to fight someone, and he'd be extremely strong with the Force, not minus the lightsaber, because he's a wizard, So the question is, guys, what is actually stronger, the magic or this internal power that comes from inside, or it was some sort of accident that now you're living with? Because if you saw Justice League, if I got it right, the Justice League was doing all that they could do to keep what's his name down. Once Superman came, it was a Superman show. The other ones could do whatever they wanted. But then, I've heard that Darkseid could do this, and so my question to you guys is what is stronger? Is it magic? Would you want to be a magical type of hero or villain? Or do you want to be this accident that turned you into something, or you was chosen by a ring because your will was so strong? What is it that is stronger? Chris, we'll start with you.
If I was going to get superpowers, I would want it to be the way that Billy Batson and Hal Jordan got theirs. Just somebody decides that I am worthy, and then I just become like very powerful rather quickly by either charging up a ring or just saying the right words.
Okay. You take a very, very middle of the road type of answer, I see, but that's okay. Brad?
Well, it depends on what kind of magic we're talking about, and what kind of powers does the magic have. The superpowers the character has. So you have to compare the magical abilities versus the superpowers to find out who's going to win. Which one would I rather have? If I have unlimited power through magic, I go with the magic.
Okay. Liz, what you got for me?
I agree with Brad. I would go with the magic because all you have to do is whip out the wand and it didn't matter whether Superman could beat you into a pulp. All you had to do was do a little magic thingy and he'd be all the way across the universe type thing, So I think magic would probably win on that area.
So I'm going to jump on your coattail. I'm going to stick with my Obi-Wan Kenobi right now. Marky Mark?
Well, magic would be able to defeat Superman, so magic is fine, but I think sheer knowledge would be what I would want more than anything, because Batman can take out everybody in the Justice League on his own, and he has no magic, he has no strength, no powers, but yet he's feared by everybody. I mean, he's made Darkseid afraid of him, so I definitely am going to go with just mental capability over everything else. So that would be what I would want.
Okay. That's very different. I almost expected something like that to come out of here, but because of me seeing Black Adam, it really started making me think about this whole powers thing. But I see Larry responding physically, and I can't wait to hear what Calibus has to say, so I'm going to drop it to them. Larry, please chime in.
Well, first of all, Marky Mark was dead on. I mean, just couldn't have said it better myself. I'm going to try, but I probably can't. It's a simple fact that magic is in itself, can be a dirty thing. And with all magic comes a price. Well, if you're Batman or Green Arrow, you can afford to pay that price. And the sheer knowledge that you have, that like Mark said, he's made Darkseid afraid of him. So the fact that Batman has all of that knowledge and can harness all that, and he's super rich. If he comes up against magic, all he's got to do is pick up the phone, send a private jet, and get John Constantine over, and we're good to go. I mean, we got a magic battler right there. So Mark said it great. I'm going to agree with everything he said. The fact that I would rather have the knowledge and the fear of everyone over a little bit of magic that I may have to pay a price for later.
Okay. I'm going to jump on your coattail and kind of say that kind of gives me a feeling about what Dr. Fate did. No spoilers. I'm sorry, guys. If you ain't seen Black Adam by now, I apologize. But it seemed like how Dr. Fate, kind of could see everything that has happened. And the next thing you know, he finally couldn't see his own past himself. His powers became from limitless to a limit. And then he was done. So that's an interesting thought. I like that. Calibus Rand, please chime in.
Marky Mark said it best. I agree with him and Big L. It's the reason why we like Batman is because he is the man who fights with the gods. He is the man that they fear because he's had to have his contingency plans. Barring the tragic incident that makes you Batman or makes you that hero that you have to be because of that tragic incident, I would have to go with that. I would want to have that undoubtable will, that knowledge. That's to me more than say a Superman. Because Superman doesn't have to learn martial arts. He in a fight, it's powers that give him what he is, and we saw that in Batman versus Superman. Batman was beating that ass, you know what I mean? And then when that kryptonite gas wore off, that's when I was kind of like, "Ooh, you're really in trouble right now." If he wants, because we all know Superman, if he wants to kill Batman, he can do it. The fact that he doesn't do it is the thing that his humanity or his upbringing of not killing or whatever, that makes him that guy. You know what I mean? But Batman, on the other hand, I'm just saying, you had the Kevin Conroy's Batman in the CW's universe. When you see Kevin Conroy in that iron suit, it's because he killed their Superman and it left him maimed. So now he needs a suit to walk. But that Batman killed Superman. So, you know what I mean? You don't really need magic. You need brains.
Okay. I have to say this to my hardcore DC fans, whether you're watching or right here on the table, and I know I got some good references and some resources here with me. That is one probably either cartoon video or a comic book that I want to read where Darkseid gets a little scared of Batman. I want to know what Batman did to get him so scared. I'll leave it at that.
It's on the 757 Geeks Fandoms page. I've already posted it.
My God, guys, that's what I call love right there. So, guys, we have become the roundtable of discussion. We have discussed DC, and I would say that DC is on the uprising. I think Marvel will soon to be stepping down a notch. If not, DC is going to go right through the roof. Guys, your final thought for tonight before we close up. Chris, we'll start with you.
Well, as usual, it's great to get together with you guys. Talking about a lot of different things from a lot of different areas. always been a big fan of the Marvel TV show, the DC movies from the 80s, the Marvel movies from the current era, and the just enjoy the watching stuff as long as it's well made and it's got a good story.
Okay. Miss Liz, your final thought, please.
Your mic.
Yeah, it's always good to see everybody. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys this Sunday. And I think I'm beginning to agree with you. I think DC is slowly getting, Marvel was here, and now DC is beginning to do its thing. And but I will I will always be an Iron Man fan, always. And that's pretty much it. And I hope everybody has a really good Thanksgiving and Christmas and whenever. So, hugs to everybody.
Well, thank you so much. That was very nice of you. Brad, your final thought, please, sir.
Well, it's always good getting with everybody. I hope everybody has a great holiday season. Everything's coming up, so happy Thanksgiving, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa. Whatever holiday you're going to celebrate, I hope it's a good one for you. As far as it goes, I think Disney having control of Marvel is going to put it in the toilet, and DC's going to take over.
Marky Mark, what you got for us, sir?
Okay. Thanks, Brad, for saying that. That's just so funny. First, I guess I do want to thank everybody. Say I'm happy to be here again. I love that you guys talked about DC. I don't think they get enough credit for what they put out there. They have some great stories. I love the comics that they come out with. And I know some people are finally getting to see some of the really good stories that they're putting out. This was just fun to look at. Marvel did have, it started off great. Recently, the stuff that's coming out on Marvel just has not been the best. I did go ahead and see Wakanda Forever, and it's an okay movie. It's not a great movie, but it's an okay movie. Black Adam was way better, and it's a shame that some people aren't seeing it just because, well, it's DC or whatever. But I think you really need to give DC a shot, and especially if you look at some of their animated stuff, they've got the best animated movies out there. So if you have an opportunity, please check that out.
Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. That's what I've been doing, is checking out the animation stuff. Big L, what you got for us, bud?
I mean, this was great. I'm so thankful. I'm not thankful that we had technical difficulties, but I'm glad that we were able actually to have this roundtable. DC is a passion. If any of you were to see my office, those of you who've been in my office, you will know that it is plastered in DC. About half of DC, the other half of Star Trek. But overall, this was a great roundtable. I'm glad that we got to have this discussion. This has been a monumental year for us. I mean, we've gotten to do so much. We've had so many people that have come and gone, but then we've had our knights of the roundtable who have stayed, and the ones that have come in and joined staff, like Mark, and it's funny. I was thinking about it. We talked about it when we went to see Black Adam. 3 years ago, Mark's wife came and saw us do our very first, Lucas versus Roddenberry panel, and then here we are 3 years later, and Mark is a staff member, and he's on these roundtables, and everybody's coming together, and we have Calibus who does all this production stuff for us. So as this being our last roundtable before we shut off, I want to say that from my heart, I appreciate everyone being here and the things that we do. It takes a lot to put this together. Some of you don't understand the the back stuff that Calabash does or Alan does to put these together, or the chatter we have back between the three of us of how to get this content out. So we appreciate everybody coming in and having these roundtables. It's amazing to have a voice and an outlet. And the last thing I'll say, and I'll leave you guys with this: whether you're a DC fan, a Marvel fan, or just a comic book fan in all, like when we lost Chadwick Boseman for Black Panther, we lost Kevin Conroy, we lost our voice of Batman. So comic fans across the nation are still mourning your own way. I have a thing I've set up for Kevin myself here in the office, but going into next year, be kind to your superheroes because they're always kind to us.
Calabash Rand, please.
What can I say? I believe DC. But I'll give Marvel its props when they come out. And like I said, Civil War changed me from Iron Man to Captain America. And I've been a big Cap fan since. I'm waiting for the new Captain America movie. I'm just interested in seeing their take on what they're doing, if they're going to give us any flashbacks of Steve Rogers. I like that aspect, but as a DC fan, this is the most exciting time. We campaigned to get the Snyder Cut released, and we got the release of Justice League. And a lot of people are like, well, the first one was boring. I want to, I get that, but if you wanted to know the whole story, you have to see that cut. Those cuts of those movies, the original vision, just blows anything away that Marvel has. It's just unbelievable from start to finish. You get the real story, the whole story. Now they're campaigning for a Suicide Squad cut. I wish the director would have stuck to his guns and said, hey, yes, there is a director's cut, but DC wouldn't let it come out. But now he's saying that there is a cut. We need to see this cut. I'm hoping to see it. But I want to touch on what Big L said, and that's the fact that you guys stayed. You guys were here. You guys are the knights of the round table. A lot of effort goes in to keeping up the page, keeping up the videos. Sometimes Jedi Joe and I and Big L, we get together and we're like, racking our brains on how we're going to get this content out. How do we keep the content up? And it's amazing to me that we all come together like this and we just want to provide good content for all of you guys. And hopefully for many more years to come, we got some great new shows coming down the pike for the next year. And I'm telling you, you guys will not be sorry. You will not be sorry. But if anybody, especially here, has an idea for another show, please let us know. We're always open to help produce something, to put it under that 757 flag or Cosmic Portal flag. We're always willing to do that. So if you guys got an idea, let us know. Let's get it out there. Let's put it out there and enjoy your fandom. Whether it is Marvel or DC, enjoy your fandom. Don't let nothing stop you. You know what I mean? It's here for you. This platform is for you. So with that, I just like to say thank you to all of you, because sometimes you guys make my week, and I know you don't know it, but there are times when I need this outlet, and you guys have always come through for me on that. So thank you.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. So as I said before in our title, DC, the Uprising, it's coming, guys. And I see it more and more now than I used to. I might have to change my strategy later on in time when it comes to DC versus Marvel, but we'll see. We'll have to come to that later on. Guys, as y'all know, this is the last roundtable of the year, but don't get sad. We may have a special edition to pop up between now and the holidays. We'll just check in with everybody to see how everybody's available and everything, and make sure it's good for one. But it's our time to be able to relax, refresh, recharge, revamp. We got some shows that are new shows that are being premiered next year. There are also going to be some new some shows that are coming back that's going to be revamped. And then obviously the Roundtable is one of the oldest shows that 757 has had and that the Cosmic Portal has done for us. Let's face it, originally the Roundtable was Larry setting up a Facebook chat room, and that's what we had. Then we got up with Calibus Rand and the Cosmic Portal, and we got what we got now, which is so much better, more interacting. You know, we can watch videos, we can actually see highlights. The possibilities are endless. I'd like to thank Eric Waya for jumping in and saying hello. For everybody else, hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving and definitely a great Christmas and New Year's. We will be in touch with you guys a little more about the food drive on Sunday. We'll be discussing that, time, place to meet, that sort of thing. Also, to let y'all know that we will have some live video coming from a tournament that I am hosting this Saturday for my students. So if you've never seen a good lightsaber duel, we're going to have it real life, and we're going to have some of our contestants that are going to be interviewed and everything. I've got a couple of local sponsors and an out-of-town sponsor, by the way. So really excited about that. And of course, Calibus Rand and the Cosmic Portal is going to be there to do all the movie magic behind all that and do all the videos and everything and go on live. So watch out for that, guys. And that's it for the Roundtable. And we'll see you the next time. Y'all take care.